man. I do what I do.
That's not our people. White folk didn't give us permission to build these 100 or some historically black universities. All these black churches. It's a black church right next to every. It's a black church, 2 or 3 sometimes on every corner in every black community. They didn't give us permission to do that. We did that ourselves. We took the initiative and did that ourselves. So why is it all of a sudden we need them now? Just something to think about. But every time you have somebody say, no, we need to do this ourselves like our ancestors did. Oh, no, you a sellout. Does that even make sense? Huh? Now, the other thing is they often exaggerate racial issues. We acknowledge that racism exists. I mean, I'm telling you, it's not going anywhere. It's part of the American ethos. Okay? It's part of the American ethos. Some race hustlers exaggerate problems to keep people emotionally engaged. They want you to be afraid. But see, it's hard to make somebody afraid when they're just not afraid. And many of us, especially us Black Americans who dealt with the trauma of growing up in the 80s and now, it's really hard to scare us because it's like, I mean, you know, I've been shot at a young age. You know, I've been jumped, I've been beat up. You know, growing up in, I ain't afraid. Anytime you have to hit the floor at 4 years old to dodge gunshots, it's really hard to be afraid of the big bad boogeyman. You understand what I'm saying? Just think about that. You know, you got people who literally make stuff up, right? They try to falsely claim racial attacks. Look at Jussie Smollett. Is that his name? Juicy Smollett? Is that what your boy called him? Jussie Smollett? That actor from 2019. He said he was going out to get a Subway sandwich at 2 o'clock in the morning, and he got beat up by 2 Trump supporters in Chicago. You know, it was like 12 degrees outside. You gonna leave your hotel in Chicago and go outside in 12 degrees to get a Subway sandwich at 2 in the morning? What kind of footlong was you trying to get, Jussie? What was you trying to get? Huh? And then you claim you was hit by some racial, you had to deal with some hate out there in Chicago. In Chicago, ain't nobody walking down the street with no MAGA hats in Chicago in 2019, sir. But nevertheless, he gained national attention and it was exposed as a hoax. And again, there are racial issues that happen all the time. Recently, there was a young Black man who was literally lynched behind a Walmart, okay? But you got people who will exploit that. That's race hustling, okay? They always trying to make our people afraid. Race hustlers, you know, they make it seem like society in its entirety is just 100% always against Black folks and discourages us from seeking any opportunities. Well, then how in the heck did we do all the stuff that we did in the past? And I'm not saying we don't have, you know, adversity. Okay, I'm not saying that. Shout out to Eddie B. Nobody's saying that. We know it's there. But we still have people like Booker T. Washington who lived between 1856 and 1915, who promoted education, economic growth as a way to advance rather than just focusing on oppression alone, oppression. Damn. You see what I'm saying? So instead of recognizing the progress made, these same race hustlers, they constantly refer back to the past injustices to keep people angry. But they never tell you about all that our people did while we were dealing with that. We built this country as slaves, and we built more for ourselves as free people at the height of Jim Crow. Think about that. Black folks built, we had the most married group of people. We built the most between 1877 and 1865. And it was after that when we got our so-called freedom that it all went, we had more barriers. It all went to hell in a handbasket after that. So think about that. Now, who are the race hustlers I'm talking about? Al Sharpton, top of the list. The man uses racial issues to stay in the public eye and make money, clearly. Jesse Jackson, a generation back. You see, he's been criticized for racial politics through his Rainbow Push organization. You see what I mean? You got folks like Cornel West. This man is always talking about racism, but golly, you married to a white woman. So clearly they can't be that bad if you sleeping with one, right? I mean, I just find that interesting in myself. And love who you love, but if you laid up with a white woman or a white man, I don't want to really hear you claiming that these people are so bad. I'm just gonna be honest with you. You see what I mean? And then you all know what happened to Michael Eric Dyson. You know, he was out there flirting with a MAGA chick. He always taught that, and the brothers need to understand that the magnitude of the specification and the ramifications of the situation allow us to make sure that the magnification is coming through in the elation. My brother. And I used to rap too back in the day. You see what I mean? And like, dude, you out here flirting with the MAGA chick. You always talking about race. Okay? But how much of that actually helps the black community? It's cool to talk about it, but if you're not bringing up any solutions, if that's all you focus on, man, you're just wasting time. Look, a lot of these activists, Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, they have strong connections to the Democratic Party. And that's something else that we need to talk about. Their activism often aligns with the liberal political ideas, and they use these racial issues to try to push for policies that support their agendas. And this has been a common strategy in American politics, especially since the civil rights movement of the 1960s. Okay? Back then, the Democrats began to champion civil rights issues more strongly, and it gained support amongst many black leaders. The problem is, okay, the modern racial activists use racial tensions for political gain rather than actual social progress. Let's look at Al Sharpton. This man hosted a show on a major cable news network, MSNBC, where he speaks about racial injustice. Okay, and by using media platforms, activists like Al Sharpton, they influence how people see racial issues. But see, here's the thing. The discussion is always one-sided, okay? It leaves out the deeper discussions about poverty, education, community responsibility. Let me say that again, community responsibility, okay? All right? And the media influence means that the messages people hear about race are often shaped to fit political narratives rather than provide a complete picture of the situation. Now, and when we can talk about the fact that whether we talk about Jesse Jackson and Al Sharpton, they love Donald Trump. They look, they love Donald Trump until he began to run for Republican. How quickly they changed, and that's what Donald Trump said tonight. How quickly they turned when they didn't cheer for RFK. That's a Kennedy. See. And when you look at Jesse Jackson's run for president, in his campaign alone, he highlighted racial injustice, but he also helped him gain political power. Vote for me because the other side is racist. Vote for me, I'm black. Okay? And his ability to bring racial advocacy to the mainstream politics, it showed how it could be used as a tool for gaining votes and influence. It's the same thing white folks do. Those politicians that make you afraid of black crime and black men and whatnot, they use race the same way. So it's white race hustlers too. You see, I want you to understand that this is not a one color thing. You see, but they use race as an issue to gain support. They can't stand on their platforms, so they use race. You see, you understand what I'm saying? Latinos in California do it the same thing. They make black folks the enemy. Vote for me, we'll get these black people out. So they use race. A lot of them, they use history to support their message and they ignore important facts. For example, they emphasize slavery, Jim Crow, and police brutality. How many black people each year die at the hands of police? How many of y'all think? Is it 10,000? Is it 20,000? Is it 100,000? How many? I need a consensus. How many black people each year die because of police brutality? It's 43 million black people in the United States. How many black people each year die because of police brutality? How many do you think it is based on the news? Is it 10,000? Is it 100,000? How many is it? Some people say a couple hundred. Some people say a couple 100. Yeah. The truth is, it's 900. It's 900 out of 43 million. Somebody said 10,000. It's 900 to 1,000 people. And a lot of those folk are dying because of they're being arrested for something. Okay? I need you to understand that. And everybody is innocent until proven guilty. But it's about 100. It's about 900 to 1,000 out of 43 million people. Now, how many black people die because of black people unaliving other black people, both men and women? What's that number look like? What's that number look like? How many is it? Huh? How many black people die each year by unalivement? If somebody says way more.
You would tune in to the one, if not the best, on these YouTube streets. We call him DennisSpurling. You sit back and hate watch, clocking everything he do and say, but you yelling DennisSpurling. Show some love, ain't enough going round for a black man putting it down. We talking DennisSpurling. Taking over 2025, ain't no lies. Pull up, tell all of your guys we watching DennisSpurling. You tune in to the one, if not the best, on these YouTube streets. We call him DennisSpurling. You sit back and hate watch, clocking everything he do and say, but you yelling DennisSpurling. Show some love, ain't enough going round for a black man putting it down. We talking DennisSpurling. Taking over 2025, ain't no lies. Pull up, tell all of your guys we watching DennisSpurling.
This is Uncle D, and as I always said this time, I'm out.
Almost to 10,000 followers. I want to say thank you to you guys. You know, I know God has something in store for me, and I'm going to continue to say yes.
Smooth operator. Come on, everybody. Smooth operator. Smooth operator. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.